Hello everyone, today I will talk about Testfit. It is able to iterate solutions for variety type of buildings such as multifamily houses, hotel, industrial area, parking or garden apartments. The building configurator of Testfit is so fast in iterating buildings. Before I start, I want to mention that Testfit changes user interface very recently and I'm using older interface in this video, so don't confuse if you see a different version of it. I will try to explain the parts that differs in the newest version. I had tested another design before. To start the new one, I'm resetting the file right now. First, I need to set my site, and in order to do that, I'm searching for location on the map. I think that map data is useful because you can see all surroundings and they are up to date. By the way, you can change the opacity of the map. You may want to see the map in a transparent way to not be confused while designing. This is the concept image that we have. You can import image files to start with if you don't want to start here directly or you had a layout in your mind. Here you can see tab for site creation. It is possible to draw the site boundary or define it by the parcels. Now I'm drawing it with a pen tool, and while drawing I can see the distance values, which is good. According to the concept layout, it's better if we have two sites, so let's make two sites. It will automatically named as A and B and so on. If I had more sites, it will continue as C and D. For the zoning section, you can define the values for number of units, unit size, parking ratio, floor area ratio, yield on cost, and so on. You can define them either as maximum or minimum value, and you will see all the inputs while you are experiencing Testfit. I will not use all of them for this example right now. The section named Deal is mainly about feasibility analysis. You can type required values for expenses and revenues into that table. It will calculate automatically. Here, expenses include soft cost, hard cost, and land cost. For the revenues, you can type the monthly price for units and car parking. Configurator Panel is the part that we generate layout solutions. At the top, first you select whether you want higher density or lower density buildings. Afterwards, the presets will appear such as hotel, podium fill, tower, and so on. I want to mention that Configurator Panel is a little bit different in the newest version. It has better user interface that you don't confuse. They have icons that are much more explanatory. So you can check it if you wonder about it in the newest version. When I click on dynamic units, unit database will adapt to the changes in the design. I will talk about unit database in short. At the right hand side, there is a little diagrammatic section that enables us to move up and down and the floors so that we can view different plan view for each floor. This is the manual mode for Testfit. In order to activate manual mode, you need to click on M button at the below, but I think these buttons are moved somewhere else, just to keep in mind. This part is like sketching. When the sketching is done, units will be placed there by taking the information from unit database. Unit database is the part that you define all the unit types with their sizes of width, depth, balcony size, entry size, and so on. It is really good that we have that much of control and detail while designing on units. They are not just boxes or spaces like a bubble diagram, but they have entrances, balcony, and they are placed accordingly. You can always go to the manual mode to change your sketch, and unit layout will be updated again in response to your design. This feature gives flexibility, which is really nice, I think. Now let's design the other side. When there's an unsold part, it shows in black, so you must edit your design and check for the black parts again. At the below, there is a schemes part. In this part, the algorithm generates different design solutions for the chosen site. Zoning data information will appear on the right for each solution. Here you can visualize the data and filter them by writing maximum and minimum value for each zoning data. Keep in mind that selected solution will be colored in orange so that you can easily distinguish it from the other selections. In the tabulation tab, you can find a detailed information about unit distribution and unit mix for each type and size, information about common spaces such as amenity, retail space, stairs, and lift, and so on. On the left part, you can input the average unit size for each type and the percentage of it among the building. The Testfit algorithm will consider these inputs and generate accordingly. This is the parking tool. You can shift the place of it by drag and move. Also on the left hand side there are inputs for parking such as orientation, ramp slope, level, and so on. As an overall comment, I can say that there are such a wide range of inputs so that we can have control over the design. For the spaces that we add externally, I mean the spaces except for units, lifts, stairs, we can introduce a void that is not only valid for one floor but multiple floors. It is a beneficial tool if we are designing a lobby or amenity that requires more than a unit height. This is the part for setting the setbacks. I find it really interesting since we can sketch it in the third dimension. At the sketching area, you can define the line with the control points, and while sketching it, simultaneously it will appear on the 3D model, and the design solution will react to it. It's such a fast thing to use. As you remember in the 2D plan view, black parts were unsold parts. Here in 3D model, gray parts are unsold parts. Therefore, keep in mind that you should reduce by editing like back and forth process. By the way, schemas are not only used by generator, but we can also say different options of designs into that part. We can add roads to our design. As you can see, there are multiple types of options for road selections. You can also edit the roads in terms of their color and width. Drawing them is like a simple sketching. The intersection part of them will connect it automatically. If not, check the endpoints of the roads. Here you can see that roads are not just strict lines. We can pull them, it will react as curvilinear. After your design is completed, it is possible to export it into different file formats. When we export it in PDF format, it is possible to view all the plans for each floor. In addition to that, we can view a detailed table for unit and cost data. When we export it into SketchUp format, the geometry came as boxes and units came as blocks. To keep in mind that only the units that are on top of each other come as blocks. And when we export as DXF format, the plan came with its layers and closed polylines, so it is organized.